Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wikipedia and most of the things that really make our lives different from what they were 20 years ago couldn't have happened without the technical pioneers behind the internet. And tonight's Lovie Lifetime Achievement winner is truly deserving of the nickname, the father of Wi-Fi. As chairman of the IEEE committee that created the 802.11 standards, which is the specification for Wi-Fi, Vic Hayes and his colleagues ushered in the age of ubiquitous internet, providing users with Ethernet-free connectivity and a brand new sense of connected mobility. Most importantly, the technology has provided incredible examples of individual innovation, setting up community networks in rural environments with high-throughput internet and extended Wi-Fi to reach even the most remote locations, like Jersland.net in Denmark, Red Libre in Spain, or VR Wireless in Croatia. These networks and hundreds more empower people in the most remote areas of Europe and the world with access to the internet. It is my honor to present the 2013 Lovie Lifetime Achievement Award to the father of Wi-Fi and the chairman of the IEEE 802.11 Wireless LAN Working Group for inventing the world-changing technology we know as Wi-Fi, Mr. Vic Hayes. Vic, don't drop this on your foot, it's very heavy.
Thank you very much. This is really a nice award that I received this time. And as an acceptance of the Lovie Award, I would say I love the people that are behind the Lovie Award. So now I have satisfied the requirement of my speech, so I could go. However, I have more to say. Because I also love all the people that are using Wi-Fi. So let's have a look. Who is not using Wi-Fi? I see none. Okay, so we came a long way. And if I have now honored the users of Wi-Fi, I now want to go to the actors. And the first important actor is the one that gave us the spectrum, and that is Dr. Michael Marcus of the FCC. He made the ruling in 1985 that made it all possible. So I love Michael Marcus. From that point, the people, I worked for NCR. It was a small group in the Netherlands that worked for the worldwide group of NCR. There was in corporate engineering a guy that saw something useful that could be made out of it. One of the most important part of NCR's products was cash registers. And an important customer are the department stores. And department stores want to change their floor plan from time to time. But in order to do that, they have to drill new holes in their beautiful marble floor. And they didn't like it. So this guy thought, when we make our cash registers wirelessly connected, then they can go freely around with their cash registers. So he looked around in the company, the worldwide company, and he found that the engineers here in the Netherlands were the best suited to do it. So I love all those engineers that did the development of our first product and helped me, in fact, to make the technical proposals into the working group. I was asked to make an international standard by the company, but my requirement was that I would not do the defense of the company position, because I wanted to be without prejudice. So I didn't want to do any of the company proposals. And they agreed to it, and then I accepted it. And in the end, they found indeed that when the chairman is not involved in the product itself, they trust you and they are willing to make the standard. And that is the important part. You know, a working group, you have arch rivals coming together And everyone wants to have their technology in the standard. But as the manager of the group, you have to tell them, no, that is not possible. You need to have one standard, no options. And one by one, and it took 7 years to get agreement to one standard, and that was 97. And the fact that a standard is important is that when the standard was there, Steve Jobs of Apple Computers found the time ripe to make a new MacBook with a wireless connection. So he went out to all the vendors of wireless devices, and he asked me, can you make this for our new MacBook? And they said, yes, we can. He said, yeah, but there's one but. The price should be $100. And at that time, the PC cards with the technology was $500. So everybody resigned except NCR, because they saw that from a corporate product, they could make it also a product in the home market. So their production could be scaled up, and the production could be made more efficient. So they accepted it, and by the time that we were ready in 1999, we released the product, $100, and instead of the 2 megabits per second that was originally the case when we agreed to it, we had now an 11 megabits per second product. And that's not all. From that time on, we had the breakthrough. So the other computer manufacturers came to us and say, why didn't you come to us? Why did you do it with Apple? And my manager came back in his notes, and he said, well, on that and that day, I was in your office making the proposal, but you were not at all interested. And that is another thing. In that time, 1996, 97, 98, it was very hard to sell wireless connection. People thought, yeah, big deal. What can you do with wireless connections to your computer? So it was very hard to do it. But once you have used it once, you are hooked, and you are addicted to it, and like all of you are addicted to it now. So, in order to be consistent, I love all those arch rivals that made the standards. And in fact, there are still people working in 802.11, and they are making the product faster, 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 and in more spectrum, so the crowdedness of the 2.4 gigahertz band can be diverted to other bands. And let me see, what did I miss? Ah, yeah, that's the most important part. I love all the volunteers that are bringing broadband internet to people in remote areas. As you know, bringing wireless or bringing broadband internet in the town is very easy. You can put wires in it and cables, and you can have high-speed internet there. But if you are more remote, it's very difficult to keep the speed. So there are less people there, so they are not willing to dig the holes to all those scarce people. And you can see the same. When electricity was being introduced, only in the towns you could have electricity, and in the rural areas you could not. People had to get together and pay together for giving a cable to them. Same is true for telephony. They had the problem of having no people wanting to go to them with the wires to give them telephony, so they made the party line cables to them. And now, with broadband internet, Wi-Fi was the solution to bring it to them. And one of the most important people that or famous people I would say, is in Nepal. He lives there in the mountains in a very nice area. There's no power grid, no telephone grid, no mobile telephone system. If he wants to do his email, he first has to walk down for 4 hours to the bus stop, and then he has to go in a windy road to the nearest by town. There he can do his internet, and there he can do his email. He sends his email. The next morning he receives responses and respond to that. And then he has to go back home for 8 hours. And he was tired of it. So he looked around, and with the Wi-Fi devices now going to an affordable price, he thought, why don't I use that? And with long-haul antennas, he set up an antenna there, and it brought internet to those people in the mountains. Now, that are farmers, and the farmers had their crop sold to traders. And once they had internet, they looked on the internet and they saw that the traders gave them much too low price. So they went out on internet and sold their crop on internet, which gave them an enormous economic benefit. In addition to that, people are living far apart, so if you want to meet your friends, you have to walk for hours. Now, with that network, they could easily communicate. They also have, for the illiterate people, telephone connections on that net, so even they have social benefit out of it. And I think that was the most important thing I wanted to tell you. I love all those people that are acting on making Wi-Fi possible. Thank you.
Lifetime Achievement Award.